Welcome to Main Street Mavericks, celebrating conversations with exceptional Main Street businesses who serve friends and neighbors in your community. Here's your host, Joel Helfer.
Good afternoon. This is Joel Helfer, Main Street Mavericks Radio. And today we have something a little different. We've got a little panel discussion with two very distinguished businessmen. And we're talking today about the automotive industry. We've got Thomas Schmitt. And Thomas Schmitt is an automotive strategist with more than 20 years of successful experience all across the automotive industry. He's been in financial operations. He's been a general manager. He's been a sales manager, a used car director. You name it, when it comes to cars, Thomas Schmitt has done it. He has extensive experience directing multi-franchise dealerships from small to high volume. He's been acknowledged for his superior ability to recruit, develop, train, and retain top talent. He's an award-winning professional. He's been able to turn around underperforming dealerships and make them profitable again. And his expertise encompasses multiple brands and price points, including Infiniti, Nissan, Hyundai, Kia, Honda, Toyota, Chevrolet, and other luxury brands. Thomas Schmitt, welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you?
You're great. And along with you, I've got one of your best friends. His name is Tom Chesser from San Antonio, Texas. And Tom is the owner of Solutions Plus, and Solutions Plus provides custom-tailored solutions to business owners who need to gain an advantage in their marketplace. And Tom's favorite slogan is, solutions that put more money in your bank account. Couldn't ask for more than that. Hi, Tom. How are you today?
Hey, Joel. That's a great introduction. I appreciate that. And, hey, Thomas, welcome to the call, buddy. Man, I'm so excited to do this with you, man. I've just been busting at the seams. So we wanted to kind of pick your brain a little bit today about your success in the automobile industry. And what would you say one of the success stories would be?
There's tons of success stories, but I mean, success is a twofold thing. Success is a twofold thing in the realm of, you can talk about how successful you've made other people along the way, and how that makes you a very good leader. That shows that you can go ahead and you can help people along the way to show them the best ways to go. In other words, train them in the best abilities that they can be trained in. Each person has a different ability, and you need to pull that out of them, is what I mean by that. And second, it would be, the drastic change in numbers, drastic change in manufacturers' money that you can gain. And, being a strategist is a little tougher than normally being just an automotive management consultant, whatever you may call it. A strategist is actually someone who can actually break these things down, department by department, and that's what I've been able to do, as well as take the manufacturers, new manufacturers, money that they throw, things like that you can win from them. And I've been able to go ahead and take their contest and been able to break them down mathematically, systematically, and make sure that we can hit those numbers to make them happen.
How many dealerships have you worked for and been successful with, Tom?
I have been personally successful for probably over 10 of them myself, and that's because, at one point in time, I came in the business as a turnaround specialist.
Uh-huh.
And what we did is we came in, 4-man teams, and we took over dealerships, dealer groups at times, and spent 2 months there and completely retrained, restaffed, retooled entire dealerships, from fixed operations to variable operations.
Wow.
And it was a very interesting time.
You've done this all over the country, right?
In more places, almost everywhere except for Alaska.
Stay away from the cold, buddy. But, all the stuff that you've been doing, in the automobile industry, you have really, in all the conversations we have and all the stuff that we share together, I mean, you really have made this industry fun and exciting and rewarding. How have you kept that going like that?
To be honest with you, it's attitude, but it's all about attitude. It's all about relationships. It's all about, tenacity. It's so many things inside that you need to have to make these things happen. You have to have a passion for what you're doing with life. If you don't wake up in the morning with a goal, or you don't wake up in the morning with a passion to do what you want to do, you won't be successful at it. You'll go and you'll barely do it, and you'll make just that 100%. You'll never be an overachiever. And everybody wants to be an overachiever. You just have to want to put in the work, and you have to have the want, the will, and some people have heart, other people have natural talent, natural ability. Some waste it, some don't. And the ones that don't, and that's about a 2 to 3% that don't, and those are the ones that you really want to, watch, look out for, and learn from. I had one of those when I was younger. He taught me quite a bit.
Well, we talked about being the best, and you are the best in this field. I mean, I got to commend you for that. I mean, you are a top-performing professional in this field of expertise. And we talked about BEST, and I really like that acronym I think we were using, which was BEST, belief, enthusiasm, skill, and tenacity. And I think you used all that so many years, it's just been a second habit to you. Is that correct?
It becomes correct, and that is 100% correct. I mean, it becomes second nature. It is a part of you. It's not something that you wake up in the morning and have to force yourself to be. My motto, actually, everybody themselves anymore has to brand themselves, just like a dealership brands itself, and a person is a brand of themselves. My brand and my motto, my mission statement is never give up. And which is something I never do. Anyone who you've ever talked to, or you will talk to from day one to day now, which of course has changed. Day one, I would have gone through the wall when they asked you, how let's just get to the other side. How do we get there? They would have come in the morning, and I just went through the wall. Now I find ways around the wall without disturbing anyone whatsoever.
Yeah,
I can understand that.
Walls is a big subject today on a lot of levels, so I think we'll stay away from walls.
I read your article, Thomas. You did a fantastic article on LinkedIn that was called Relationships. How do you use your relationship skills in the business, and what ways is this really helpful to them?
Relationships. Guys, people have forgotten the fact that why did we get into these businesses in the first place? And I can say the automobile industry, for one, is one of the most popular, and any retail industry as well, and whether it be restaurant on down. Relationships are the most important things that you have. You build them along a time period, or you have to learn to build them in a short time period. There's two ways, and there's ways about it. But always, the most important thing about a relationship is a give and take. All right, and I've over the years been able to build these relationships. I was able to build them quite quickly, and that maybe is because it came naturally to me to be truthful, be honest, and be transparent. And when you're truthful, honest, and transparent, people tend to migrate towards you. When they migrate towards you, they tend to believe in you and trust you, and there's not a problem. I don't have a reason to have to lie, and I'll give you a prime example of a relationship. Tell the manufacturer, look, you're telling me you want me to hit 550 cars, then you've got to give me X amount of cars to do it, but they have to be certain amount of models, because if not, I can move other models, but I need this amount to be able to do it. Are they willing to help you? 99% of the time. 98% of the time, no. But there's the 2% of dealers that actually do get those kind of preferences. Another thing is banks, lenders, all your relationships with those. You can take a person who maybe have a low score, and maybe just had problems. Maybe, God forbid, we all could lose our job. We all could break our leg and not have the insurance to cover us. Anybody could. I don't care if you're a millionaire. But guess what? People still have feelings. People still have understanding. And if you're a good relationship person and you're dealing with them, you can overcome a lot of these issues. You can explain the situation, explain how and why they've changed, and what makes it different now than it did before. And in a matter of moments, a person goes from being a turn down to becoming a loan, and not at a high percentage rate, but sometimes at the same percentage rate as I get for anyone else. It's all about the relationships and the businesses. It's even in your dealerships. Your relationship with your employees, your relationships with your owners, relationships with your customers. Everybody is a relationship, any way you look at it.
In addition to your relationships, Tom, I know you've got a lot of special skills that you've developed over the years to help dealerships make more money, which is what it's all about when you open the door in the morning. What are some of the special skills that you have that maybe other automotive strategists just don't?
For one, this is a given talent. It's not something that, I've made it better over the years. I've perfected it, but it was something that God gave me, and I'm thankful for that very much. In my early years, I played sports, and those sports became very important to me to get me into a college situation to get a degree. But during that time period, it taught me to be able to look across the field when playing football and see what goes on before it ever happens. And a lot of times in the showroom, I've got 50 customers going on, 30 customers going on, and I can actually almost pinpoint what's going to happen and where it's going to go to and think quick. It's all about being able to say to yourself, wait a minute, this is not where we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be here, and be able to sit down and show somebody how to change this and make that happen. At the same time, lately, like I was saying, and I kind of stumbled in the beginning, I'm sorry about that, guys, but manufacturers have a thing called manufacturer money that comes back to the dealer for an X amount of vehicles being sold, as well as for finance. Well, some of the manufacturers have made it so outlandish that it takes a person like myself to figure it out. I mean, I'll give you a prime example, a quick one. Nissan has a thing called the Nissan 10. If you hit all 10, now this goes 5 variable operational things and 5 fixed operational things, you must hit them at 100% for a quarter for each one of those 5 things or above to get the manufacturer's money at all. And a lot of people, out there know, I don't know. A lot of people think hey, you just go into the dealership, invoice deal, great, I'm getting a deal under invoice, great. They don't realize that the dealership's paying a lot more than you think if they don't ever hit those numbers. That's a lose-lose battle for everybody, and you can't do that. Nobody can run on zero.
Absolutely. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was talking to an automobile dealership not too long ago, and because they didn't meet their mark with the manufacturer, it cost them over $100,000. That $100,000 is also used to pay people, overhead, and things like that. So if he didn't make his mark, it really put a ding on, basically the business itself, and then they had to come up with other ways to make up that money. So, man, I'm right on the page with you, buddy, about that.
I understand that. And, the last thing you ever want to do, ever, and, I've gone into plenty of, dealerships, and now at this moment I'm looking to do the same thing, but I don't like letting anyone go. I like employee retention. I prefer to change someone from one position to another at times. Prime example, service writer, finance director, finance manager. One had his family, wanted to go home early, but wanted to make decent money. One was single, wanted to make all the money in the world, and vice versa. I switched them, trained them both in 1 week, and they both are the happiest in the world. But I didn't lose my employees. I'd rather add, an employee from the community itself than I would ever have to lose an employee because everybody needs a job. Everybody needs to work. And that's something that nowadays we all really need to think about. Because if you think clearly about it, you don't have to increase your expenditures just because of an extra employee. You just have to increase your profit. Because for every little bit of profit, I think it's 1% or 2% of profit that you increase, you decrease your expenditures by 5%. So how hard would that be to sell 3 or 4 more cars to pay for 1 more person? Not many.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, basically, you did the football deal. I was really impressed with that. What would be the top 3 ideas that you could share today for a dealership, an owner of a dealership, to make it work more effectively and efficiently? I mean, things that you've done.
One thing is that, I don't know if everybody's ever done this in their life or they haven't, but years ago I started it, and I have it. I've had many pages in it, and there's many pages stable to it, but it's called a playbook, and it's your own playbook. Over the years of when you worked and what you've done, and the job descriptions have changed, and they keep changing to, evolving. They evolve and evolve. And as we evolve into this computer age that we're in, you need to evolve these and revise your plans and your ways of doing things. So as you would do this, you want to get some feedback from not only the people that work for you, but look around and see other places, okay? I see way too many, things like in ads nowadays, okay? I want one from a person from within the area. I don't know why, that doesn't say a lot to me, because from within the area is just telling me, let me take someone else that I've already taken through my dealership once, and we've tried to make it work, and try it again. Yeah, maybe twice, but not 3 and 4 times. That's one thing I say I stay away from, and look for other people. Look for avenues. There are, important things out there now, attitudes, make sure you get the right attitudes together, and like, heading back towards that book, which I got off there for a second, if you put that playbook together and you go ahead and go through department by department at where you're at, you will sit and be able to sometimes figure out a way to mend them together, which is one of the hardest things to do, is to bring them completely together to get what everybody really wants. And that's an employee customer-centric wow the customer system. And myself, that's what I strive for. I strive for everyone to be happy. So 3 things I would do is definitely look at the attitudes of everybody, institute policy, and watch what's going on around you, but make it fun at the same time. Stop making it, dreary. And please take care of your employees. Way too many people, they just don't see the value in how an employee works. The business hasn't changed that much to change the plans on our employees that much either.
I know one of the things that we talked about that you are particularly adept in is getting all different departments in a dealership to work together. And how do you bring everybody together, Tom? What do you do to get that done?
I myself, personally, I come off from what's called, if I'm a general manager, all right, whether it be general manager, corporate director, or whatever it may be, or down to general sales manager, you cannot stay in an ivory tower, okay? And what I mean by that is we all get an office. That's great. Wonderful. It's there for us to go in and do our things that need to be done. Now, of course, we have things to do, for instance, to make sure the dealership is running properly, and maybe institute more things in and have those meetings with, our different departments. But I like to go out, and especially when I first get there, and lead from the front, okay? Jump out there. Do some sales meetings yourself with the salesman. And those are only 10 meetings at a time now, 10 minutes at a time now, because there's, nowadays 10 minutes is all you can actually keep somebody occupied before they lose their
attention.
Exactly.
Your attention.
Sorry about that, guys. Sorry.
Mine's about 3 minutes, but that's okay.
My attention span there for a second. But I mean, meet your customers, say hi. Go up there and desk the deals. Sit down in the middle. Every Saturday I do that. I'd go out there and sit down in the middle just like this, then push my GSM out of the way and sit down there and say, hey, listen, let's do it. Let's rock and roll. Let's try this. This is what we plan on this weekend. You know, and I don't, depending on what area of the country, like, you know, there in Texas where you're at, Tom, they have the law of no Sundays. Well, it was either Sunday or Saturday or Sunday. Then they changed it to Sunday. Well, a lot of those there's a few of those around the country. Then they're the ones that, you know, they're open 7 days, not 24 hours. They tried that in one time. It's a 24-hour thing. Didn't work out too well, as I didn't think it would. But if I'm in a dealership and it's Wednesday, all right, my appointments for the week, because I always use a straight internet department, because I don't want my guys coming off the floor, and I want the internet department to be able to, you know, get to those customers within 1 minute to 3 minutes at the most, and, you know, get back to them not with a template, but with a regular answer right to the customer, you know, directly, boom, boom. But I'd like to have all the appointments for Saturday already done, coming in by Wednesday, almost just filling it up, you know. So Mondays were already Wednesdays, and vice versa. And if you're set for those weekends coming in for just Saturday, Sunday, then you're set. You know, you're ready to go, and your people are ready. I have a meeting on a Thursday then. That way I can set the bonuses, because a lot of people have it on Friday and only set a one-day bonus. Well, I set bonuses on a Friday, Saturday. You know, Friday, Saturday, that way they get them both. That's why hence the meeting Thursday. I go Friday, if not, and then I set the bonus for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Instead, I set it for Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So it all ties in together, and that's how, you know, I do it differently depending on where I'm at. I think that's the answer to the question you asked me.
Yeah. You know, the other thing I noticed that we talked about a lot was, you know, getting people into the automobile dealership, you know, starting with your front desk and your salesperson and things like that. Tell me how you do that with the relationships with the salesperson, the front desk, and also the follow-up. I'm really big on follow-up. You know about that. Yeah. But, I mean, I think that's the most important thing out there is, you know, for that salesperson to stay in touch with that potential client or that client that bought a car from them all the time. Can you talk to me about that?
Mm-hmm. Of course. As a matter of fact, I took it from your playbook. Remember, I stole it from you, buddy. I stole it from you, Tom. I stole yours.
Oh yeah.
When you know, there's a beautiful thing called you know, follow up with digital business cards, which is great. You know, and then there's where you can actually stay in contact with your customer. I think you should, like the old days, I had a guy, my God, he did 50 deals a month, honestly, 50. Ted Kaczynski, I'll never forget. Out of a 200 car dealership, he did 1/4 of their car deals every month. Never took an up after his third year, because he had a Rolodex, and back then they had Rolodex. Yes, guys, they had Rolodex. And they didn't have the wonderful things that we have, like, you know, a smartphone to keep our contacts in V cards, where we can actually send our business card, along with a wonderful note to keep up with our customers, not only for service but for sales as well. You know, follow-up has become such a thing that if you don't stay with the customer, they'll forget who you are, and especially if you didn't give them a wow experience. You know, and that big, giant wow experience must be gotten. And I'll tell you, I have to say this, guys, for a reason. I read an article, and it bothered the heck out of me, and I posted it. And I think a lot of people, there were over 515 views of this thing on LinkedIn that showed that they want to take away, you know, how quickly Amazon is taking down all the retailers and how we're putting cars on the Amazon. I don't care how you say it or how you can put it. If you take that human factor out of the equation totally, all these things that we're talking about from relationships on down will no longer exist. Then people will have no choice but to only go by a cookie cutter situation. Everything they won't even have to ask a question. It's either this way or no way. I never wanted to live my life in a yes or no. I like the fact that, hey, maybe it could happen. You know, and that takes away from everything if you do that if that happens. So recently I noticed something. Best Buy, I don't know if you all saw that or not, they geared up their entire squad from the Geek Squad on down, and they are now pushing their customer service so hard, and their products have dropped. They've dropped the prices below Amazon to fight back, to show that, hey, listen, forget all about price. Let's worry about taking care of the customers and getting the wow experience they deserve. And I believe a lot of dealerships are starting to head that direction. That's the direction I like to be in, because, to be honest with you, you become more profitable than you ever did. You've got customers coming in from your retention. You've got which means exactly what we talked about, Tom. Is, you know, if you stay in touch with your customer, they come back.
This has really been a great discussion. Both Toms, my two friends, and Tom and Schmitt, how do dealerships and general managers and owners get in touch with you if they'd like to take advantage of some of your skills as an automotive strategist? How do they get in touch with you?
I don't know. I was going to go ahead and start this thing that a friend of mine told me about called www.hirethomasschmitt.com, but you guys like that? I was going to put that on top of LinkedIn.
You should. You know who that friend was? You know who that friend was?
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah, I know who it was.
Oh, that was you, Joel.
I know. He told me. I said, well, you know what? It's not. I was thinking about it. And I'm like, maybe. I looked it up to see if it was there. It's there.
Well,
but, I mean,
there's nothing better than a little old-fashioned P.T. Barnum promotion. Because
you're not
you don't
kidding.
blow your own whistle, who will, you know?
You know, might as well. What the heck? But I'm on LinkedIn. My numbers are listed on there. They're listed on. I have the V card is listed. There have been other articles that are listed. If you want me to give it, I can give it.
Please. What is your phone number and your email address?
My actual phone numbers that you can reach me at are 602-329-4793. That's 602-329-4793. There is an alternative, which is 818-522-4777. And email address is tjschmitt111@gmail.com.
Okay, repeat that again. I'm trying to, again?
That's tjschmitt111. That's numerals at gmail.com. Someone might try to spell it out.
Spell that out, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. You got my endorsement, and if there's any automobile dealership that listens to this, or are looking, I definitely am. You can go to his LinkedIn, or you can go to his digital business card and look at his amazing track record, his recommendations, his awards, his achievements, and I'm just really, really appreciate you spending this time with us as an expert in this field of operation. And we've all learned a lot from each other, and we've had our conversations on weekly, daily basis, Thomas, and I always pick your brain because, I do a lot of marketing for automobile dealerships, and it's nice to have a resource like you, that I can refer to and consult with and, beg to answer questions. And if anybody out there is looking for somebody of this caliber, my friend, I'll tell you what, you got my thumbs up, 100% seal of approval, whatever you need. And I appreciate you spending this time with me today.
Yeah, I appreciate all you guys giving me a chance to just go ahead and let people know the passion that's out there and the players that are there and how to do things. I appreciate it, and I appreciate both of you. And don't forget, www.hirethomasschmitt.com. I'll talk with you all later. God bless.
Before you go, I want to thank you, Tom Schmitt, and you, Tom Chester, for being on Main Street Mavericks Radio today. This has been a particularly enjoyable conversation between business experts who kind of figured it out but are still trying. And we appreciate both of you being on Main Street Mavericks, and I wish you, Tom Chesser, and you, Thomas Schmitt, good health and success in your future business endeavors. And whoever gets the opportunity to work with either one of you is pretty lucky as far as I'm concerned, because you guys are at the top of your game. And I always end the interview by saying thanks very much for being on Main Street Mavericks Radio. Have a little fun every day. Don't save it up.
You've been listening to Main Street Mavericks Radio with Joel Helfer. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit mainstreetmavericks.com.